Dada Gujri ji and Chote Sahibzade as a gift to the same rulers who were going to execute him. Duni Chand, he was also a Hindu. He attacked Guruji. Raja Hari Chand, the first ever war that Dasam Pasha fought, he was the leader, he was the one who caused that attack. Just think about it. Pir Buddhu Shah was the one who actually fought on the Guru's side. He sacrificed his sons, and at least about 700 of his followers. Guru Hargobind Singh Pasha, he had an army of Pathans. They were Muslims. Dasam Pasha had Muslim soldiers. Who took out Dasam Pasha from Machiwade or Chamkaur, the video of the jungle? Who took him out? By Ghani Khan and Nabi Khan. They were two Muslims. When Guruji was offered for identification, when he was being carried as Ochda Pir, it wasn't a Hindu. It was a Muslim head priest who recognized him but didn't want to blow his cover because he knew. So we need to understand our history. We need to really decipher what's right and what's wrong. The problem is our history has never been written by Sikhs. It's always been written by others. And others will make changes as they see fit so they don't come across as guilty party. If it is a conflict between two faiths, the predominantly two faiths in the Middle East or Southeast Asia, namely Islam and Hinduism, were being made as a party to side with at least one of them. And Guruji never did that. Guruji always stood for truth, human right, justice, and that's why we come back to the Shahidi of Chote Sahibzade and Bade Sahibzade. What does the word Sahibzade means? Does anybody know? No? See, we use that. We use that word a lot. Sahib. Sahib mera ek. Absolutely. Zade. That's a Persian word in Farsi. That means a son. Sahib de Putra. Kedi Sahib de Putra? Dasam Pasha de Putra. Sahib Zade. Does anybody know why we call them Baba? Baba Ajit Singh. Were they that old?
Because their actions were that of older people, what you would expect older people to do, but at such a young age they were doing what older people.
Andy?
Not even older people have the guts to do what they do.
Absolutely. Now we're contradicting each other. So we call them Babaji because they did the actions of the older people. Yet on the other hand, we're saying no. Even older people can't do that. Baba Deep Singh took Shahidi. He was around 80 years old. Right? And yet, what was the age of the youngest Shabda then? 6 to 7 years. 6 years and some months, right? So we call it 7, even. It is that spiritual maturity, okay? We take all our lifetime some to mature spiritually to become that strong. Yet they had achieved that much in such a young age that they knew what it meant to make a stand on their principles, even if it meant to sacrifice their life, to bear that torture, to decline all the offers from the empire at that time, whether it was the Hindus and the Muslims combined together. Let me just force that. Saka, Sirhind. Just think about it. Sahibzades and Mata Gujri had separated when they were crossing the river Sarsa. And they went to, Gangu took them to his own house. And in the middle of the night, he became greedy because he wanted to steal any belongings that they had. And also, more often, this is the critical part, sometimes we kind of look at the belongings that they had. It's not as important. He was greedy because he wanted to claim the award that was being given by the rulers at that time, whoever was going to give any information for the arrest of those Sahibzades and Mata Gujri. So the Mughals knew that the family had scattered, the Singhs had scattered. So when that was offered, he wanted to claim that. He wanted to go and get, and he knew that not only he was going to get some monetary, which means money, but he was going to be given some sort of a status. For that, he deceived, he betrayed. And when they were brought to Sirhind, in the court of the Nawab himself, guess who were the people that were critical in the decision-making process at that time? Suchanand was the court clerk. Okay, when the Mughal ruler actually asked the Muslim head priest to come up with some sort of a punishment for these two youngsters who were defying all the Mughal rulers' edicts, what happened? It was a Muslim who stood up and made the stand. He said, the Sharia, which is the religious law in Islam, does not permit that the children should be punished for the father's crime. Because apparently Guru Gobind Singh Ji was a criminal in their eyes. Yet it was a Muslim who made that stand. He called it unjust. Yes, who incited the rulers to go ahead? Heidi? Who is that? Suchanand, Divan. The court's head clerk. What was his words? He actually put a question to the Sahibzades, or asked the ruler to do that. What are you going to do if we were to release you today? What was the answer? That we're going to go out there, we're going to collect an army of Khalsa, and then we're going to come back and destroy you. That was just, because if somebody's doing the unjustest things, everybody has the right to make a stand. That wasn't the part. He used that answer to tell the Mughal ruler that, look, just like the offspring of a snake is always going to be poisonous. Those were the words. That was the justification, that if you were not to get rid of them, were not to execute them now, that they're going to become a threat to your regime somewhere down the line. And at that time it was decided that they should be bricked alive. Think about that. Now, we always blame the Muslims. Yet the Nawab of Malerkotla was standing in the same court who actually stood up and made a stand that I was absolutely wrong to do that. You know what happened there? He was offered to carry out the execution himself. You know why? Because his brother was killed by Dasam Pasha. at Chamkaur, because he was part of the attacking force who were attacking Chamkaur. And he was trying to use a ladder to get up on top of the Chamkaur, the mud fortress, and Guruji saw him, and he was killed instantly. You know, just like a true warrior. Nawab Malair Kodla said that my brother was killed in a war. I have no right to extract revenge out of these children. That is the true history. Yet we always see only a part of it. Let's think about it. What happened to the older Sirhind? Does anybody know?